All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday night demo for the month. We might just do it now in 1 minute to see if anyone else joins us, and then we will get started. I'm just going to pop a little thing in the chat box so that pops up for you, and then we'll get going. Okay, we might get started. So welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. This is myself and my team, the Mixmasters, bringing some quick weeknight meals to you guys. So last month we gave you a lunchbox style virtual, and we just thought it'd be really good carrying on from that. So we've got our lunchboxes pretty much sorted now, but we are crazy busy with after school activities, back to school, back to work, all of that. And we know how much we all need some quick weeknight meals in our lives. So we just thought we'd bring this virtual, hopefully give those of you who own a Thermomix some new inspiration, and those of you who are seeing it for the first time, you might be able to see how it might fit into your life. So thanks so much for joining us. My name, for those of you who haven't met me before, I am Erin O'Brien. I'm a Thermomix consultant and team leader, Thermo Loving Mum on Instagram and Facebook. So I've been a consultant for just over 2 years now, and a team leader for since October, I think. So yeah, really, I joined to earn my Thermomix just over 2 years ago, and just loved everything about it, and yeah, love sharing the Thermomix with everybody. So I'm still here, and yeah, still enjoying it. So yeah, I'm going to get us cooking to start with. Oh, just before we do start, those of you who are hosting tonight, so you've invited along guests or you are a guest of a host, from now, can you please check in via that link that your consultant has sent you? Yeah, anytime now, that would be great. So we're going to get started tonight. I'm going to start by making a chicken and pesto risotto. So this one is a cookadoo recipe. And I already have it saved into my week. So I'm just going to go into my 3 little bars up the top there, into my week. And I've got most of the recipes that we're all cooking tonight saved in there. But like I said, I am going to start us with a risotto. Has anyone made this recipe before or something similar? I have to admit, I'm a bit addicted to pestos in the Thermomix. I just think they're delicious and so, yeah, fresh and tasty, and so much cheaper to make as well. So yeah, this one is delicious. I obviously, like always, I could scroll down and have a look at the recipe. Actually, one little thing I have decided to do for this recipe, just because I'm cooking a couple of meals and I don't want to have too much food for the family, is I have adjusted the serving size on this one. So those of you who have a TM6 might be aware of this function, but we have the ability now to, oh, I pressed it too quickly, to adjust our serving sizes. So if we just scroll down a little bit, I'm not sure how well you can see it on the screen there, but across to the side here, you've got the serving size. And this one is automatically adjusted to 2 and 4 servings. So the original cookadoo recipe is 4, but tonight I am just going to do the 2. So I'm applying that. And it will automatically adjust our ingredients and cooking steps for us, which is amazing. Those of you with the TM6 are using this feature. It's only a relatively new one, but yeah, it means you can scale it up or down. This recipe obviously has the 2 and 4, but you can also change it to more than that if you wanted to as well. So into our bowl, we're going to place 20 grams of Parmesan cheese. I'm just going to tear my scales there. I prepped all my ingredients before I decided I was going to halve it. So now I have to make sure I don't just throw it all in as I'm going. Popping our lid on next. And now we've got 10 seconds on speed 9. So Zoom will just meet me out for this one because it will be quite noisy. I'll see you in 10 seconds. So I should have mentioned that we're at this part, the first couple of steps are just making that pesto. So that's what we're doing here. Do you guys love pesto? Pop it in the chat box and let me know. I should have asked at the start, actually, those of you who are on tonight, do you have a Thermomix? And if so, what model do you have? Pop it in the chat box and let us know. And perhaps what you're hoping to get out of coming along tonight, those of you with a Thermomix, you're looking for inspiration, some tips, tricks. Have you never seen a Thermomix before? Did a friend drag you along? Let us know. So I've popped in a tablespoon of pine nuts, and then I'm going to pop in a garlic clove, and then I'm going to pop some basil in there as well. So just tipping that straight in there. And then 20 grams of olive oil. So I've heard a couple of doorbells go off. Those of you who have just joined us, I am starting us off by making a chicken and pesto risotto. So we're making the pesto to start with. Popping the lid back on, next again. And now we've got, again, 10 seconds on speed 7. Quickly to the chat box. So please don't hesitate to pop any questions in the chat box as we're going. Myself or one of the girls will answer them. A couple of you looking for some dinner inspiration. Love that. I'm always on the lookout for new ideas too. So next. And that's it. That's our pesto done there. So it's obviously not a huge amount. It's just what we need for this recipe. So it's perfect. Are you making pestos at home, guys? Do you make your own pesto dip? There's lots of different. There's a really nice chicken and pesto pasta on Cookidoo as well, which I love. We call pretty much anything in this house that's green like this. I've got 5 little kids actually, but 3 of them that are big enough to care about what they eat. So we call this Hulk food. So we have Hulk pasta, or this will be, yeah, a Hulk dish as well, because everyone wants to be like Hulk, but no one wants to eat their greens. So, all right, so moving on from that, we don't need to wash our bowl. We've just set our pesto aside. And into there, we're going to place 75 grams of carrots, just roughly chopped. Next. And then another 75 grams of leek. Again, I cut it all up before I decided I was halving it, so got a bit too much. Small one. And then 15 grams of olive oil. And then I'm popping the lid on again. And giving that a shot. So I've got 5 seconds on speed 5. Next again, we're just going to give those sides a bit of a scrape. I'll just show you that chop that we did there. So again, like anything, if you wanted to chop those carrots and leek up a bit more, you can just use your back arrow on the top left-hand side of the screen and press back to take it back a step and repeat it. You could turn the time down and just do it for, 2 seconds if you wanted to, if you just felt like it just needed that tiny bit more. Want to hide the veg from the kids a bit more, whatever. And now we're going to pop the lid on with the simmering pasta, which I didn't grab that. I'll just quickly grab that. So we're just popping that one on the top there. And now we've got 4 minutes of cooking at 100 degrees and speed 1. So that's that cooking now. So now you've got your hands-free time to do whatever you want, which we're going to jump over to our another Thermomix and get our second meal cooking. This one we're cooking creamy chicken and creamy mustard pasta. So I'm not sure if anyone's made this one before. It's been a favourite in my house for years. Long before I was a consultant, I had a TM5 and I used to cook this recipe all the time. It's from the recipe community. I'll pop the link in the chat box once I've got it on. But again, one of our features, a bit like the recipe scaling, one of our features that's exclusive to the TM6 is the ability to import recipes from the recipe community. So this means all of those favorites that you've loved for years, or something that you've just loved, that you found and you really do love, you can bring them over to guided cooking, which is amazing. So I'm going to go into my week again. You will notice it looks slightly different on the screen, but still super easy, and definitely a lot easier than, skipping or trying to read the recipe on your phone as you're cooking, just to have it on the screen. So this time I'm making the chicken and creamy mustard pasta. And hit start cooking on that one. And we just press next on the side on the cookie recipe. So it says place, add an onion, garlic, and olive oil to the Thermomix. So I can just go to, you probably can't see it super well, the scales down the bottom there, and that'll bring up my ingredients so I can see. So it's a whole onion, 3 garlic cloves. Yes, and I'll just tear those scales and pop in 20 grams of olive oil. Has anyone made this recipe from the recipe community before? This is one of my all-time favourite. Throw it in and walk away bath for kids. It's great for like after swimming or something like that, where I just don't have time to stand there and stir things. You got 2 steps. You just cut your onion and your garlic, cook that, and then you just throw everything else in, which is my ideal kind of recipe. So 3 seconds on speed 6 for that. Sorry. And then across up the top. And then again, your next arrow is just on the side on an imported recipe. So now we're just going to saute that. So 4 minutes, 100 degrees, and speed 1. Trying to do it from above. So we're all cooking with 2 Thermomixes tonight to show you the maximum amount of things we can in the least amount of time, which is fun. But myself and Jess, one of the other consultants that's going to be cooking tonight, we've all both been lucky enough to earn 2 Thermomixes in our time, or no, earn a second, I should say. Jess joined with her Thermomix, earn a second Thermomix in our time as consultants so far. So one of the perks of the job is the ability to earn amazing incentives. And a Thermomix is definitely that. So yeah, if you're wondering, that's why we've got a second one on our bench, is because we've been lucky enough to earn it. All right, so I've got about 30 seconds left on that cook time on our risotto. Have we got any questions, guys? Pop them in the chat box if you do. I might just quickly grab my chicken out of the fridge. So we're going to go to the next. And into there, we're going to pop 200 grams of chicken breast. Just again, tearing those scales so we know what we're doing, just after taking the root off. A little bit over, but that's okay. 2 teaspoons of chicken stock paste. I am just cheating tonight, just using powdered chicken stock. That might be against consultant rules, but that's fine. Next, 250 grams of water. That perfect. And then we're going to pop the lid on again with our simmering basket again. Next once more. And now we've got 8 minutes, 100 degrees, and turning the speed selector just to that spoon speed. So that's that first little notch of the dial, and it's just like a slow mix with a wooden spoon. it's on reverse, so our blades are running. So our blades on our Thermomix are sharp on one side, blunt on the other. So by running it in reverse and on spoon speed, we're literally just giving it like a little gentle stir with a wooden spoon, making sure we're not cutting up the chicken by running our blades in reverse. And so now I've got about a minute left on that one. I'm just going to get them both to their main cooking stages, and then we're going to flip over to, I think Karen's going to put next. So we'll just give that a minute. I'll have a quick check in the chat box and see if we've got any questions. So I've got some TM6 and some TM5 owners on tonight, which is great. And Emily is using the recipe, created recipe function, which is amazing. So yeah, the imported recipe means you can bring recipes across from the rest of the community really easy. And if you've created your own recipes, you can also add them, which is really cool. So if you've got, mum's spaghetti or, grandma's meatloaf that you've converted to the Thermomix and it's something you use all the time, you can add it into your Cookidoo, which is amazing. You can also adjust and add notes to Cookidoo recipes. So if there's something you've been making again for years that you love, but you change it around a little bit, you can make those changes and save it as part of your created recipes too, which is really cool. All right, so we're going to cancel out. Oh, sorry, I brought up this node instead. So next, we're going to pop in our butterfly. So this, because we're just adding all of the ingredients in bulk now, so that's just going to help stir it as it cooks, really. So we're adding chicken, stock, honey, water, cream, mustard, and pasta. So again, if I go down into those scales, I'm going to drip something on this. It brings up all of those ingredients. So I can just run through adding them all as I go. So 2 chicken breast chopped into pieces. So I'm just going to throw all that in. Again, a little bit more, but that's fine. As long as you're not, going over your maximum, it's perfectly fine to add a little bit more of anything as you want to. A bit of chicken stock again. Some honey. We've got a nice big jar of honey. We get our honey from the local farmers market. So I always have plenty of that on standby. So 30 grams of honey. I'm going to boil the kettle quickly again because I need to add some hot water. 300 grams of cream. This recipe as well, I often make it dairy free because it's quite creamy. So I'm using just normal cream today, but I often use coconut cream as well. Makes it dairy free and obviously just not as heavy on everyone's tummy as well. Still tastes amazing. So I suppose like anything, always just remember that you can adjust recipes to suit you and your family. It's an easy way to make it dairy free there. So 500 grams of boiling water. I'll just wait for the kettle to boil and then I'll add that in. And then we're going to add 3 tablespoons of seeded mustard. Sound like something that you guys would be making for your family? Do you think your little ones would eat it? 250 grams of pasta. So I'm using spiral, but use again whatever you like and whatever your family like. That is perfectly fine. And then I'll just add that water. So pair the scales. So yeah, essentially this recipe, has those first couple of steps of adding and chopping our onion and garlic and giving that a little saute. And then we just throw everything else in. So 500 grams of water. And then I just make sure it's all covered with the water and cream. And so I just give it a little push down. And to our scales that. And then again, because we're in our imported recipe, so we've got it there. So 20 minutes, 100 degrees, speed 1 and reverse. And I just need to swap over my measuring cup for a simmering basket there too, because we're cooking above 90 degrees. Perfect. All right, we might click over to Karen, I think. Let me just preview what our next step is on this one quickly. Yeah, so when this part of our cook time is finished, we're just adding the risotto in. So I'm literally just going to take the lid off and add the risotto and then start cooking again. So I'll probably just do that off camera and we'll head to Karen and see what she's up to.
Hey everyone, I'm Karen. If you don't know me, I'm from Thermo Got You Covered. I live about an hour and a half from Albury, so I'm on the other side of Victoria compared to the girls. So tonight I'm going to be making 2 dishes. So first up, I'm going to be making spaghetti carbonara. Does anyone like carbonara? It's always a nice classic. So start off with Parmesan cheese. Just turn that. So it calls for 60 grams of Parmesan and 30 grams of pepperoni. So I just do all Parmesan cheese because it's cheaper. And I've got it all together. So it's got 90 there. I'm just grating that up quickly. So look it is. And we've got grated Parmesan cheese, which is awesome. So none of those nasty fillers that you normally get from the packaged grated cheese already. Get all that out. All right. Next up, clean dry bowl, but I've got 2 jugs. I'm chopping the onion and I'm going to be doing the bacon. Whoops, just skipping a step already. Make this all the time. So got my onion. So it calls for like a shallot, but I just use onion because that's what I've got on hand. Chopping that up. Chopped that onion up nice and quickly. So straight down the sides. Next, and then we're adding our bacon. So I've just got some home-raised bacon here. Use whatever you want. So pan cheddar, bacon, like whatever you've got really. I always go just a little bit over. So that's how our packets are pumped. Okay. And olive oil. Got my bulk olive oil. You'll find when you own a Thermomix, you go through a lot of olive oil. Okay. And simmering basket on the top. And then that goes for 5 minutes. So on the sides. All right, so we're going to do the next dish. I just boiled some water before, so I'm putting that to the side. That's for my next step. All right. So my other dish that I'm making, oops, my wheat. And I'm making a prawn noodle curry. I don't know if anyone's made that before. This one is one of my favorites. It's really nice. Okay, adding our spring onion. So 2 spring onions chopped up. And a 5 centimeter piece of fresh ginger. Put that in. And we're just chopping that. I think my ginger was a bit too big, so I'm just going back and do that again. So nicely chopped. You could smell it, fresh ginger. Oh, so good. So straight down the sides. We're adding some, they asked for fresh oyster mushrooms. I don't have any fresh ones. I've got some dehydrated ones, so that's what I normally put in mine. And it works just as good. So I don't add as many because when they come back and rehydrate, it's a lot more. So, so coconut milk. So I just use 1 can because otherwise I'm wasting another one. So it calls for 540 grams. So I use a 400 ml one and then I top it up with water. That will be now we need 1 tablespoon of red curry paste. This is what flavors the dish with the ginger. 1 tablespoon. 1 teaspoon of fish sauce. So I just eyeball it. Cooking up the sauce. So that goes for 5 minutes. So we've got another minute on that bacon, and then we're good to go. I normally pop mine in a thermo server. Don't know if any of you have a thermo server. Really good, nice and handy. It keeps your food warm or cold for a few hours, so it's always a win, especially if you're cooking ahead of time for like after school sports, or you know, like if you've cooked ahead of time on the weekend when you've got things on, you can come back home and dishes all nice and warm for you. It's always good. That's almost done. Literally, this dish is 3 steps. So easy. Cook the bacon and onion. Pop it to the side. Cook your pasta. Pop that in. Mix it together, and then you quickly make your egg cheese sauce. Right. That's all. You can see I'm not falling everywhere. It's all cooked up. Right. Now next up, adding our water. I've already pre-boiled mine. Put some salt, but I don't put salt on mine. So it gets temperature, so mine's already there. Now we're going to be adding our pasta.
So Karen, if we pre-boil our water, we could just skip on past that
Yes,
heating stage, can't we? Yeah, save time.
Past, especially if there's like ingredients that you don't want to add, things like that, you can just skip on past that. That's why it's called guided cooking.
Good time saver anyway to boil it in the kettle while you're doing the first couple of steps.
Yeah, so 350 grams of pasta. So this is, it calls for spaghetti, but I love it with fettuccine. So I add fettuccine to mine. It's beautiful. Making a mess. All right. And now you just, it tells you go to the packet and it tells you how long you should be cooking it for. So I know this is for, how long is it again? Get it all good to go. And I've already forgotten 10 minutes. So literally we just select the timer, turn it to what time the pasta takes to cook. So it says 10 minutes. The temperature's set, and then you literally just turn that on. So it's going to cook that pasta for us. It starts spinning around, and as it starts cooking, it'll all fall in and mix together all nicely.
Amazing. I love watching the little pasta dance there.
Yeah, that's okay.
How's your second one going there? How many minutes
I've got another minute 20. So I'm literally adding the prawns to it, and then it'll cook for another 2 minutes. And then
great is the preview step. Love it.
Yeah, the preview. So
have a look.
You're not sure what's happening, like next, you can just press the preview button and then next, and just have a look through, or you can actually go up to the top, the little menu bars, little dots, and you can go to recipe detail, and then you can then scroll down and have a look. And the cool thing is, if you want to skip a part of the recipe, you can actually click what step you want to go to. So for me, I didn't need to boil the water because I'd already done it. I could just then click and go to the next spot. So
amazing.
Really cool.
I'll just quickly click back to me for 2 seconds because I'm just up to, I'll just show you what I'm up to quickly, just while yours is finishing there. So I added my risotto after, I think it was 8 minutes or so of cooking time. And now it's just calling for a quick, just literally just to stop cooking and scrape down. So that's kind of where we're up to. I'm up to the out that you can see it. So it's cooking that chicken and the risotto pasta. So now we're just going to give it a quick scrape down, just loosen anything off the bottom, and then keep on going. So all this is, remember, I think it's easy to lose track of it on a virtual when we're swapping in between each other, but all this time now is hands-free time. So, you know, if you're making this for your family, you could be doing anything else at the moment. You could be relaxing with a cup of tea, or, you know, doing all the other million things we do at night time. So yeah, so now we've got another 5 minutes, 100 degrees, reverse, and that's spoon speed as well. So and then our pasta, our cream mustard pasta, is still cooking away in that one. Yeah, for 7 minutes. So we'll put that to Karen. She'll put those prawns on, and then we might go and see Jess.
That's me. So just adding, of course, for 20 prawns, I literally just scavenged my freezer and found some prawns. So I'm just adding what I've got. I love those kinds of meals. There's no simple, but as you can see there, sorry, you can see my mushrooms have rehydrated and it's made a beautiful sauce. But our prawns are going to be cooked in. So add my prawns. I'm just adding what I've got left, which is definitely not 20, but that's okay. They are quite big, so. Yep. And next, we're just putting the basket on top again. So that's just to let the steam release. as we're cooking and on speed too. So the prawns are on. So we've got another 2 minutes.
Awesome, thank you. We'll go over and see Jess. What's after your prawn cook time? Sorry, is that finished then?
The prawns. No, then I just have to add the noodles and cook that for another 3 minutes, and then that's it. So
cool. All right, we'll pop back to you shortly, and then we'll go and see Jess for now.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Jess. I'm from Thermomix on the farm. So like the other girls, I'm actually based in Caniva, which is in the western part of the state. So we are a true virtual team and everyone is located everywhere. So tonight I am making the sticky chili beef. So this is like a stir fry in your Thermomix, and it actually uses the high heat mode of the TM6. So I just went into my week and found the recipe, and we'll just click on start cooking. So first off, we're going to make the marinade for the beef. So I'll put in 25 grams of soy sauce. Um, 4 tablespoons of honey. So is anyone doing stir fries or anything in their Thermomix at the moment? Using that high heat mode? I love using high heat and browning the meat. All right, there's the 4. Need 1 tablespoon of tomato ketchup, just using tomato sauce. And now it's calling for a red chili, but because we'll be eating this as a family, I'm not going to put that in because the kids would definitely not eat it, but I am going to put in some chili flakes, just a little bit to try and tempt them a little bit. That on. Now it's just going to mix for 10 seconds on speed 3.
There's a few people watching Jess that love this recipe or that are planning to cook it.
Yeah, good. It definitely is delicious. All right, so that's just made our marinade like that. Really simple. And now we just simply transfer it to a bowl. Pop that in there. All right. And then now it's saying place the bowl on top. So we'll pop that up there. And now we're going to weigh in 300 grams of it says sirloin steak, trimmed and cut into strips. So I've just got some porterhouse steak here, already cut up. Get it cut up at the butcher's, saves me a step. All right, that'll be right. Now so remove the bowl and cover and leave it for at least 30 minutes to marinate. So, sorry, my 2-year-old's come to join me. So we'll just mix it up. I haven't in the past let it marinate for that long. I don't think it really matters too much. But if you do like it to, we still had plenty of flavour and I never leave enough time. But you can leave it to marinate if you need to. So it's just going to marinate nicely like that. But what I might do, unless you need to swap back over to Karen, I can go on and show the cutter while this just sits for a few minutes.
How are you going, Karen?
I've got a minute and a half left on my pasta, and the vermicelli is ready to be added.
All right, well, let's quickly add your vermicelli and then
Jump over there.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm back. So let's see, the prawns are in there now. Gosh, it's not maybe. Now we're developing our vermicelli noodles. So this is a great gluten-free recipe for anyone that's celiac. I'm just putting those in and then asking them to be broken. So I just literally use this to break them. Perfect. Right, we go next, and then we're putting that back on to cook for another 3 minutes on speed 1. I've got like 40 seconds left on the pasta, but all I have to do is drain that. So then I've got to quickly do the sauce. So it's up to you.
what we might do is we might pop back to Jess just to get her high heat cooking, and then we'll come and do the sauce of your pasta, I reckon. Cool. Thank you.
All right. So as I said,
10 minutes later.
10 minutes later, it's marinated nicely. No need to wash the bowl because we're going to be popping it straight back in a minute. So we're just going to go with 10 grams of sesame oil. A little bit over, but that's okay. We're going to put in all the marinated steak and all the marinade. Now, because we're using the high heat mode, it's really important that you just make sure it's evenly distributed around the blade and on the bottom, because the blade will be turning, will turn the meat, but that it also will stop and allow the meat to brown on the bottom there. And then in case you don't remember that, it will actually tell you that in the next step. All right, so now we're going to pop on the splash guard, which is this one that comes with the TM6. It's just another safety device, but because we're going to be using the full, like the high heat. So I'm going to set that going, and that's actually going to brown the meat. So it's going to go up to 160 degrees. And you'll hear, I don't know if you can hear it very well because I've got the AirPods in, but the blades are moving now, but they've just stopped. And that's going to allow the heat from the bottom of the bowl to actually brown the meat. But then it'll cut back in and stir it just like the fry pan, just so that it doesn't burn on the bottom either.
Amazing. I love the high heat. Definitely my favourite TM6 feature, I reckon.
Yeah, I think high heat and the sugar modes for me.
Yeah.
Even though it's not very hard.
We'll just quickly pop back to Karen, because I know with the carbonara that you want to make your egg sauce while your pasta's piping hot, so that it doesn't kind of start to scramble the eggs. So we'll let Karen do that. So she's got a beautiful silky carbonara sauce.
Okay, so I've drained the pasta just using a broom. I've just added it with the bacon and onion. So now I'm going to do the sauce. So it calls you to rinse your bowl, but I don't have time. So it calls for 3 eggs and 1 egg yolk. So I do 4 eggs because I've got so many eggs in my chips at the moment. But personal preference. And then you add the reserved cheese that you grated earlier. And then literally next, add salt. I don't think it needs salt. I always add pepper. I love pepper. And then now I've got to look for my lid wherever I put it. There it is. Next, actually mixing that up on a speedball for 15 seconds. And that is just about it, really.
Carbonara is one of my other favourites. I'm sure you've seen it. I make it quite a few times on my social media. One of my favourite quick and easy meals. It's just so quick.
It's the best.
Perfect for a weeknight, isn't it?
Yes. All right, so literally it just tells you to transfer egg mixture into your thermal server bowl. So you can see it's all mixed up in there if you can. I go through and I quickly just make sure that I've got all the cheese off the sides because you don't want to miss any of that goodness. Then you add that to your pasta. So just pour it in nicely. Make sure you grab it all in there. So this is one of the spatulas from the mix shop, and I love it for this sort of stuff. It's really good. All right, and then it tells you to combine thoroughly with a spatula. I use tongs. I just find it mixes it nice and quickly. Just what you want. So it's now slowly sort of like cooking the eggs as it touches the pasta, but it doesn't scramble it. It's just, you do not want to scramble it. It's a bit gross. So that I'll let sit for a minute or two, and that'll be ready for serve. So I don't know if you can see, there we go. Got fettuccine carbonara. So nice and easy, under 15 minutes for that. And did you want me to serve up the other one because it's ready?
We might just go back to Jess if that's all right, just to get a meal finished, and then we'll come back and serve it up. It's finished anyway, isn't it? Yeah, perfect. Cool. All right, we'll pop back and see Jess.
All right, so my high heat has still got about 45 seconds to go. You can see you can hear the blades are just cutting in and out. So the next step, we'll click on the preview. Next step is we're going to transfer to a bowl or set aside. So again, like Karen was doing, I'm going to put into my thermoserver. So this will just keep every aspect of the meal warm as we go. Has everyone else seen here the new timer function? If you click on the top, go down, you can actually click on the timer function. So now we can set timers if you're letting dough rise, or you need to make sure you don't get carried away cooking and you've got to go pick up the kids from school or something. You can actually set the timer. So put that up there. I'll show you in here. That is our meats and our marinade all nicely cooked. Put that in here. And there to keep warm. All right. Now we need 300 grams of mixed vegetables. So this is really great in that you can add in any veggies that your family likes or anything you want in a stir fry. So I've just got some capsicum, some broccoli, and some onion in there. So I'll just pop all that in. Bit over, but that doesn't matter. Pour in 10 grams of oil again. Now this time to cook the veggies, we're not using a high heat, so let's put the simmering basket on top. And it's just going to be 3 minutes at 120 degrees, just on like stirring and on reverse, so that it's using the blunt blade, so that it's not actually cutting up the vegetables anymore. It's just going to stir them. So did anyone else need to cross back, or?
I'll just quickly, add my pesto in, and then I'll play it up while you're finishing and doing it.
Go for it.
All right. Oops, I've spotlighted the wrong camera. Oh, no. All right. So both of mine are finished pretty much now. So there was a step I skipped with this one. It asked me to add some peas and then add some frozen peas and add 1 more minute. My kids won't eat peas, so just to save myself picking them all out or them refusing to eat it, I'm just going to skip on past that step. So that's what I did off camera. And now we're up to the last step, which is adding the reserved pesto to the mixing bowl and just gently combining it with the spatula. So that's what we've got so far. And then we're just going to add our pesto in. So I'm just going to give that a mix just with the spatula. Yeah, and then I will plate up while Jess finishes for that one. And then my creamy mustard pasta is finished as well. So the end of that recipe, again, add some peas and corn, just frozen peas to your thermo server, just to the bottom of that, and some baby spinach, and then adding in the pasta and letting it sit for a few minutes before serving. So again, I'm leaving the peas out of that because I can't be bothered picking them out for the kids. But I will add a bit of fresh baby spinach to the thermo server, and then yeah, have that ready to serve when Jess is finished. So yeah, I'll dish those up off camera and I'll see you shortly.
Okay, so this has about a minute to go. And as Erin said before, while this is cooking, we wouldn't normally be standing here watching it. This is our hands-free time to be able to go off and do something else. This recipe just makes the stir-fry component. So you could be cooking, you can cook rice beforehand and keep that warm in your thermo server to serve with it, or you could serve with some stir-fry noodles or something like that. So I usually do this with rice because it does have like a watery kind of runny sauce. So it's really nice with the rice to be able to soak that in. So it's just got 30 seconds left, but it has got up to our 120 degrees. So it's just cooking those wedges nicely. So our next step we know is we're going to put the beef back in the bowl and we're going to cook everything. Put this one back in. I'm trying not to spill it everywhere. So again, we're going to use high heat mode, so just making sure everything's nicely evenly around the blades. You'll always get the, when we go to use high heat, you'll always get this reminder to make sure you put your splash guard on. This is another safety feature. And that's got 3 minutes on there. And then if we go to the preview, that's the last step. So this will be done after the last 3 minutes. So it's really only had about 11 minutes cooking time. As I said, the longest part is actually remembering to marinate the meat, but I don't find that it's that important if you do that or not. So it's a great midweek quick meal. What I might do while that's going and the other girls have finished though is show you a couple of things with the new cutter attachment. So I'm sure you've all seen and heard about the new cutter attachment. It comes in a few parts here. It's a current host reward. Just turn this this way so you can see this machine. So we just put the shaft in first and then we put the bowl on top. So the great thing about this too is that everything that we cut and like grate and slice is all actually going to be kept in the cutter bowl. So it leaves the Thermomix bowl clean for when you want to do something else with it. So what I might first start off with is grating cheese, because I know that can be quite a contentious thing for a lot of people when with the normal grated cheese from the Thermomix. I know, to be honest, I didn't like it, and I didn't like the way that it grated or like chopped the cheese up. If we just go along here, if you look at all these are all the manual modes, and if we go right down the bottom, you'll see now that we've got the grating and the slicing. So the cutter you can use the cutter with the TM5, but you have to manually input the speed in there. So we're just going to go to thick grating on the cheese. And you'll see we've actually got the grey side up. So it is the grating side. So we just go to thick. I've just got the cheese cut onto strips that are fit in here. There we go. So that was 4 big. That was about a quarter of a block, about 250 grams of cheese, I think. Up to the side. And as you can see there, we now have the grated cheese. As quick as that, and perfectly grated with no gun knuckles or anything like that. And as I was explaining before, the bowl is now clean. So you can quickly do that as a step before one of your in a recipe, or as you go, if you need to cut anything up. So I'll just jump back over to this one quickly. This one's now finished. So you can look in there, and there's our stir fry done. So as I said, you could have already pre-made your some rice and already have that in a thermo server, keeping warm. Or now is the time that you could cook the rice as well. Right out there. So does anyone already have the cutter in their possession that they've already got as a host reward, or is that your plan for tonight to get the cutter as a host reward? I'd love to know. Since I've had mine, I've used it seriously every day, trying different things and using it for lots of different things. But there we go. So that's my stir fry done. Simple as that. 11 minutes cooking.
That looks so delicious, Jess. Lots of fresh ingredients there too.
Yeah, delicious.
Do you want to maybe just show us something sliced, just so we can see the slice side of it, and then
I'll just really quickly swap this over.
We'll just have a quick look at it slicing as well as grading, just to show you guys. So they cutter, like just said, is a host reward, only available until the end of February. So yeah, only got, what is it, a bit over a week to go of that. So if you do want to get a discounted or free cutter, make sure you reach out to your consultant or to one of us as soon as possible so we can help you with that. Our other option, which is always our favourite option, of course, is to join our team and earn one. So at the moment, if you join our team, you can earn yourself the cutter and a peeler as well, with 3 sales in your first 60 days as the consultant. And our even probably more exciting, or just as exciting part, is with your 4th sale, you can also earn a second bowl, blade and lid set. So your peeler, your slicer and a second bowl with only 4 sales in your first 60 days, which is an incredible offer. So if that's something you've been thinking about at all, we'd love to chat to you about that.
All right, so if we're going to do some grading, so the grading side is grey up the top, and the slicing side is the slate. If we just go back here and put grey for grading up the top, I mean, we're doing slicing, aren't we? Slate for slicing. There we go. So I just have some cucumber here. I'll pop that in and we'll slice the cucumber. We'll do thick slices. So think for sandwiches and that sort of thing. So it took about 5 seconds, if that. And I can show you in there, we've got nice thick slices of cucumber. So that would be perfect for sandwiches, perfect for pickles, all sorts of different things. What we can also do quickly, keep with the slicing, if you're having pizza tomorrow night for tea, which we will be doing, we can just slice up some mushrooms. So I'll just place those 3 in there, go down to thick. And we'll just, that again, took like no time at all. And we've got the mushrooms all sliced up, ready for pizza. So it takes a lot of your meal prep time out of it, and makes it really easy. Another good one is like shredding cabbage and that sort of thing for coleslaw. So I'll just really quickly, I've got some cabbage here and we'll just slice that. But we'll do the cabbage, we'll slice it thinly. Always make sure you pull out the pusher, which I never seem to remember to do. So I'll just put the cabbage in there, go to thin. Purple cabbage in thin. You can see there, it is really nicely thinly sliced, perfect for coleslaw. So yeah, it makes your life a lot easier, and it's super easy to clean as well. So there's no I've found there's not as many like little lips or anything like your food processor for food to get caught under, and it's also all dishwasher safe. So you can just pop it in the dishwasher and it's all nice and clean. Does anyone have any questions about the cutter or want to see anything else?
Thanks so much, Jess. Pop it in the chat box if you do have any questions, guys. But like I said, it's a host reward to the end of the month. So if you do are keen on grabbing one, discounted or free, please reach out to your consultant or one of us as soon as possible. So thanks for that, and thanks for showing. Oops, muted myself as well going. Do you want to quickly show us that stir fry again if you've got it in front of you?
Yeah.
To finish up. So that was the sticky beef stir fry, wasn't it?
Sticky chili beef. Yeah. Sticky chili beef with no chili.
Amazing. Thank you so much. We'll pop back over to Karen and she'll show us her finished product.
Yeah. So you saw my carbonara before, but you can see how it's like thickened up really, really nicely. So I would recommend like letting it sit for like 5 minutes and it's good to go. And if you can't wait that long, it's still amazing. And I just served up the prawn noodle curry just before, and I've topped it with some sprouts because we love a bit of green, but you can see I'll move that on the side so you can see, but it's gone really, really nice. So because I had mixed some of the liquid, I don't put as much. It goes more like thick, how we like it. But if you added like more liquid, you could make more of it like a soupy sort of style. So that's up to you. But yeah, I've also I did the pre-clean function too while Jess was talking. So you can see cleaned my jug nicely as well. So that's my favorite function. So yeah.
It's so good. So good, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I should have been cleaning up while I was watching, but I was too busy watching Jess with the cutter.
Yeah.
All right. I'll quickly pop back over here. Thanks, Karen. All right. So you can see we all love our thermo servers serving up in those, can't you? So that is our creamy mustard pasta. So I just added some baby spinach to that. I left the peas out, like I said before. So nice big serving for that too. That will feed all of us. And then this is our chicken and pesto risotto. So I don't know if everyone caught the start of it, but I used our serving size adjustment to adjust that down to 2 servings. So you can see they're 2 really great serving sizes made with that one. But yeah, otherwise you can keep it 4. You can increase it if you want, whatever suits you. So that is it, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. Like I said before, if you are interested in getting your hands on a host reward, either one of our amazing thermo servers, the cutter, anything at all, please reach out to us. If you haven't already, please make sure you check in with your QR or link if you have invited guests or have been invited by a friend tonight. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat box. I am available to stay on to do a quick little business information session if anybody is interested in finding out some more information about joining our amazing team. Like the girls said, we are a virtual team with consultants from just all over Victoria at the moment, but we would definitely love to expand that. So if you would love to hear a bit more about what's involved with that, I'd love you to stay on and we'll have a quick little run through some information, probably just 10 or 15 minutes. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next month with another hopefully amazing cooking class. So thank you again, and we will see you all soon. Thanks, everyone.